Have you ever noticed that if you buy a massive bucket of popcorn at the movie theater, you'll probably eat most of it, even if you weren't actually hungry to begin with? Researchers find that people will eat up to 50% more simply because they are holding a larger container. This happens because humans have a deeply wired instinct to finish whatever volume of food is placed in front of us. Over the last few decades, restaurant serving sizes have ballooned to match that instinct. We are living in an era of portion distortion, where the amount of food on a standard dinner plate is far larger than what we actually need. Our brains rely heavily on visual cues, like the size of a bucket or a plate, to decide how much to eat, rather than listening to the physical signals coming from our stomachs. Because of this, modern oversized portions act as a trap, steering us to overeat without even realizing it. If our brains constantly demand that we finish the massive portions put in front of us, how are we supposed to manage our weight without feeling constantly hungry or cheated at the dinner table? It comes down to balancing the physical size of our meals with a concept called calorie density. By learning how these two forces interact, you can trick your brain into feeling completely full and satisfied while easily staying within the amount of calories your body needs for the day. The most direct defense against those massive restaurant meals is simply to make the portions smaller before you start eating. A highly effective strategy is to ask your server for a to-go box the moment your food arrives. If you pack away half the meal before you take a single bite, you remove the visual temptation entirely. But there is an obvious problem here. For a lot of us, eating a smaller portion leaves our stomachs growling. We walk away feeling deprived. Relying on portion control all by itself is hard to sustain. Trying to fight off genuine physical hunger every single day is a battle that most people eventually lose. To solve the hunger problem, we look at how much room a food actually takes up compared to the calories hidden inside. This is calorie density. This animated scale compares two items with the exact same 400 calories, a tiny handful of potato chips and an overflowing mountain of broccoli. When they enter the body, the massive volume of vegetables physically stretches the stomach walls, triggering your brain to stop eating. Meanwhile, that small pile of chips drops in and barely covers the bottom of the stomach. Because there is no stretching, you will still feel completely famished, even though you just ate the same 400 calories. This reveals a simple workaround for your appetite. You can eat a massive, highly satisfying volume of food without gaining weight, as long as you choose foods that have a low calorie density. People often confuse this concept with the diet fads of the 1990s, back when everyone assumed that simply removing fat from our food was the secret to losing weight. But food manufacturers just replaced the fat with heavy amounts of sugar. As you can see with products like these Snackwell's chocolate chip cookies, the food was technically low fat, but it remained incredibly dense with calories. Eating these treats caused people to gain weight, because the cookies took up almost zero physical room in the stomach. They never triggered that stretching sensation, leading people to eat the entire box in one sitting. Marketing buzzwords like low fat are usually an illusion. The only metric that physically stops your hunger without overloading you with calories is the physical volume of the food. Think of your daily meals like a shopping trip. Your daily calorie requirement is your spending money, and your stomach is your physical shopping cart. High-density foods like sweets, cheeses, and cooking oils, unlike expensive designer throw pillows, they instantly blow your entire financial budget, but they leave your cart looking mostly empty. Now look at this animation of our shopping cart. Low-density foods, like vegetables and fruits, act as bulk items. You can see how they completely fill the cart to the absolute brim, while barely making a dent in your daily calorie budget. Remembering the movie theater we talked about earlier, you're completely allowed to have the giant bucket. You just have to be smart about what you put inside it. In your daily life, physically shrink the dense items on your plate, like the pastas and the heavy sauces, and pile the low-density vegetables as high as you possibly can. Using food volume this way makes managing weight a natural part of eating. It lets your eyes be exactly as big as your stomach, while your body gets exactly what it needs.